to Jedi Jingle Maker. This is my music channel where I talk about all my gear and then I make songs with that gear. So the song you just heard is one of those songs created with this guitar. Stay to the end of the video to hear another song created with this guitar. Also subscribe, like, and comment. Time for an update on this beautiful Schecter Diamond Series guitar. This is a type of Schecter which is exclusively sold at Guitar Center, which is where I picked mine up, and I was very glad that I have. It's a fantastic guitar. I've had it now for over a year and continue to modify it. I'm currently in the middle of some modifications, and which we'll talk about here. I'll also show you what I've done so far. Let's start with the simple stuff. I replaced the knobs with aluminum knobs with the lines on them. I put the lines on them because when I'm recording in the studio, if I have the volume really at a certain level, I want to remember it, then the line is useful. I honestly don't use the tone much, but if I were, there I could see where it was actually set at more exactly. So that's a good change, and I like them a lot more than this type of metal, which they used to be. Now the next thing I plan on changing is this Tune-o-matic bridge. I'm going to replace it with something slightly more resonant, but also something which is black. So you're getting the theme here. Black knobs. I'm going to replace this to black pickups, black fretboard, black graphite nut, and now black go-to locking tuners. That was my most recent modification. And you can see I got the standard non-staggered type, which are still kind of low, really. But I really like the smaller button size. I went with the smaller tuning key part, the rounded type. It looks different than the ones that came with it, and I think better. One thing I'd note though is that the ones that I got, I thought they would fit in just fine in the center hole, but they didn't. I got the Goto with the center hole drill spot, and well, they made it into my acoustic guitar because it needed new tuners and they fit great into that Yamaha. But here the holes just didn't line up, so I had to drill new holes and get a type that set them off to the side and drill new holes. To me, that's not a problem. I could always seal those holes back up, but tuning stability wise, it works great. Sometimes when you change things like this, you can mess up the break angle of your nut here. You might have to have some adjustments done for it to hold tuning stability again. You know, you need somebody that knows what they're doing to do that, in my opinion. But in this case, it didn't affect it. This is a very solid tuning guitar. And I haven't ever had it set up. That's how good it was right out of the box. Although when I have this Tune-o-matic, I'm gonna have them actually replace it. So they replace the actual part that goes into the guitar as well. But so it resonates right through. I'm also gonna have them adjust the action, and I think I can get it to be a little lower than it is now, but I really don't wanna sacrifice any of the resonant properties of this guitar. And what I mean is that it rings out very nicely, zero fret buzz the way it's set up now, which I just love so much. So I don't wanna sacrifice that. I'm willing for it to be a little bit higher action than my other guitars if needed, but we're gonna see how low we can get that. But I don't want any fret buzz in. I really want it to ring out all the way. With these EMG pickups, the ability to do like power chords and more metal-y sounding stuff in a certain way that only these pickups do it is fantastic. So I want to keep that, and I don't want to have in any way this buzzing out on the frets. So yeah, piece of cake. You know, you have more limited ability to adjust with this type of bridge than say if you had that type of bridge where you can adjust them all with individual saddle heights, but still you can get it to a good enough place. And the good news is it's already set up really well. And a cool thing about this guitar is this access, extreme access, all satin, so it's like super smooth. Yeah, this extreme access to the upper frets. I mean, there's no problem whatsoever getting up to the highest frets on this thing. I just love this guitar. Now this thing, you can get it on sale for like 500, 600 bucks typically. And when it's on sale, and it goes on sale a lot, I always recommend it. I would recommend this to anybody to get. It sounds great. It's not that versatile in terms of sound. I don't find that it has many different tones, and I don't know if there's something I could do about that, but I don't know. I just haven't found it to be that versatile in terms of the tones. I like the bridge position, and that's what I mostly use it for, but this guitar pretty much is good as is. I wouldn't change it much just because I don't think it needs much changing. It's just a shred machine for not much money. Does it play as well as, say, this SLS Elite over here that's twice the cost? No, it doesn't play as seamlessly as that, but it has other qualities. It has a slightly more beefy neck, in my opinion. To me, it almost has more of a classic feel to it, and I love the way it sounds. Can you complain about that flame maple? I mean, that is just gnarly, honestly. So stay tuned to see the remaining modifications of this guitar and also hear new songs recorded once we have this new bridge installed. The final piece. If you have a bridge you recommend, let me know. Thanks for watching. Jedi, Jingle Maker.